All right, I'm back from the fights in New York over the weekend. Sorry it took so long for this. First reason was I got some little family challenge that I had to deal with, and also I've gotten about 6 hours of sleep since the weekend. But the real reason is I wanted to watch the main event and the co-feature again before I chimed in. However, my guy in Chicago, who I usually get tapes, DVDs from when I need them, like real quick, I didn't go with him this time. I went with a local guy, and he's like, "Okay, I got you." So Sunday, I'm like, "All right, I'm coming to see you." He's like, "I got your fights, man." I'm like, "Good." Go see the guy. And I used to burn these DVDs with fights on them, like the top fights from particular years, and I used to put them all on DVD. So, and it was like a 3 or 4, it was a 4-set type of thing with like maybe between 5 and 8 fights on each DVD, but all the good ones from back in the day. So I can't do that anymore. So I got to get them on separate DVDs until I figure a way to put them all on the one again, because I don't have the what I used to use. But anyway, so I get the guy. So I get to see him, and he's like, "Here's your fights." So I look at 1, I look at 2, I look at 3, and I'm like, "Well, where's the Golovkin versus Jacobs card?" And he's like, "The who?" And I'm like, "Man, remember I told you I was going to the fight Saturday. You said you would have him Sunday for me. I need him." "Oh, my friend, come back next week." Now he works at this flea market where they only open on Saturdays and Sundays. So I'm like, "Nah, man, I need it now." I was like, "You got your equipment here, man. Just find it real quick and burn it for me." "Oh no, I don't have this special blah blah blah." So I'm like, "All right, man." So I thought about it, and I was gonna go another route, but I'm gonna just tell you what I saw. And you're gonna hear this a lot from people who are seasoned and cover boxing. You're going to hear a lot of this over the next 10 years. "Well, watching it live, here's what I saw," just like I did with the Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. You're going to hear more people saying that. "But when I watched it again on television," trust me, you're going to see it. So I'm going to tell you what I saw live. It was the Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez taking on Sor Rungvisai, or Wasako Wangek, as he's known to some. Now, let me start by saying this. Win, lose, or draw. Has anyone ever seen Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez in a boring fight? I mean, I thought that watching it live, and this one I can tell it's not one of those fights where you see one thing live and then you kind of see it the other way on TV. I thought Gonzalez won the fight. I thought he landed the more telling blows by far, and the harder punches, most definitely. And he did big damage to Rungvisai. Now, to his credit, Rungvisai dropped Gonzalez with a body shot in the first round. This fight featured numerous headbutts by Rungvisai, and the referee evened things up on the card when a point was deducted for headbutts. So you got a knockdown. Gonzalez loses a point. He gains it back with the headbutt. Gonzalez was busted up from the headbutts, and he Chocolatito only knows one way: just fight, keep fighting. You know, they pull him over. Look, we need the doctor to check this out, and he looks. I mean, he's like, look, I want to get right back to action. I mean, it's just blood. Let's go. And make no mistake about it, he's a fighter. He doesn't duck or dodge anyone. If you ask Roman Gonzalez who he wants to fight next, he'll just say he wants to fight. Doesn't care. And trust me, in the super flyweight division, when you look at the top 10, maybe even the top 15, there are no easy outs in the top 10. Anybody can beat anyone else on a given night. So now comes the rest of the story. I mean, this was a definite fight of the year candidate. And despite the bad scoring, in my opinion, you guys need to watch the replay. I assume it'll be on Saturday night. If they don't show the replay, for those who have on-demand HBO, your Comcast subscribers and what have you, I certainly recommend watching the fight. Definite fight of the year candidate. Now, for a few things, for Chocolatito, a few things come to mind. First of all, some years back he lost his mentor, the great Alexis Arguello, by a very suspicious death. I'll leave it at that. Excuse my voice. Then his trainer passed away before this fight, like between last fight and this fight. So his father became his lead trainer. And some have speculated that Chocolatito wasn't there mentally on Saturday night. Maybe so, maybe not. Either way, I think he won the fight. But the real problem with Chocolatito, the real reason that he lost this fight, even though he won it, is what happens before the fight. It starts in camp. The problem with Chocolatito has been the problem for the past few years is weight. And if you don't believe that, the bottom line is every time you see this guy training, every time you see him in just running, he's got this trash bag trying to sweat it out, or this sweatsuit on. 100-degree weather in Nicaragua, and he's got the sweatsuit on. He's trying to just get as much sweat out of his body as he can. He's killing himself to make weight, so he moved up. Still killing himself to make weight. He moved up. As you get older, as people know, it becomes more difficult to do things. So at age 30, pretty much at age 30 in his weight class, he's like the equivalent of a 36-year-old or 37-year-old in a higher weight class, like a middleweight division or something like that. And in other words, he's old. He's old for the weight class, and he has a lot of mileage on him. And so, yes, he's at age 30, but the problem with that is when you're in a weight class, in these lower divisions where you have to throw over 1,000 punches per fight, eventually it's going to catch up to you, and it's catching up to him. One day soon, it wasn't necessarily on Saturday, but one day soon, he's going to be in a close fight, and he's going to need that extra reserve in that gas tank that he's used to having, and it's not going to be there, and he's going to get stopped. But the signs are there. The signs have been there in the past 4 fights. Because he's such a great fighter, he's been able to win those 4 fights, counting this one, even though officially it's going to go down as a loss. If you look closely, Chocolatito's balance is just not right. His legs are almost gone. And he doesn't have much longer to be at the very top of his game. Despite all of that, the guy won the fight on Saturday night. I just don't know what people are looking at. Look, I'm someone that says numbers do lie, just as men and women do. But in this case, they don't. Let's look at the total stats. Okay, Rungvisai threw 940 punches. Okay, and landed 284 for a 30% clip. Chocolatito threw 1,013 punches and landed 441 for 44%. You just don't lose fights. I mean, your overall land is 44%. Rungvisai threw 176 jabs and landed, you ready for this? 7 jabs. That's 4%. Now, I understand these aren't jabbers, but come on, man. Roman threw 354 jabs, double the amount of Rungvisai, and landed 69 for 20%. Rungvisai threw 764 power shots and landed 277 for a total of 36.3%. And here's where the fight was won. Gonzalez threw 659 power punches and landed 372 for a total of 56.4%. You do not lose fights with those numbers. He landed 56% of his power shots he landed. That's come on, man. Now here's the thing. Let's look at it. That was a record. That was a record. He set a record and lost. Now, here's the thing. Let's look at round by round statistics from a few rounds. Let's take a look at round 4. Rungvisai landed 29 of 105 punches for 28%. Okay. Chocolatito landed 56 of 111 for 51% overall punches in that round. Go to round 6. Rungvisai landed 15 of 57 punches for 26%. Chocolatito landed 47 of 94 punches for 50%. He landed 47 punches to 15. 3 times as many punches in the round as Rungvisai. In round 8, Rungvisai 17 of 83 punches for 21%. Chocolatito 45 of 101 for 45%. Once again, he almost tripled Rungvisai's output. Round 12, same deal. Triple the amount of punches landed. So in 9 of the 12 rounds, let me repeat, 9 of the 12 rounds, not counting the knockdown round, okay? That's not one of the 9. 9 of the 12 rounds, he outlanded Rungvisai. But you're telling me with those percentages that he lost. That's the old grandfather clock going off in the background, catching me off guard. So, I don't know. I just want you guys to watch it and see. Now, listen, he took some shots. He got dropped in the first round with a punch to the body where he kind of just went off balance, and I'm like, and that's the balance I'm talking about. It's just not where it was, and to be honest, it's not where it should be. And I'd like to see him get a couple of big money fights and get out of there, whether it's the rematch or what have you. But I tell you, the judges, I'm not sure what they were watching. When you're tripling the opponent's punches, when you outlanded him big time, when the shots you do land are knocking him back and his aren't doing you. I mean, I just don't understand. No, I do understand. This is boxing. I shouldn't try to understand. But he set a CompuBox junior bantamweight or super flyweight record of 372 landed power shots. And you know, as numbers go up, percentages go down. But I mean, for the fight, come on, man, 56.4%. That's unreal. That is historical. Forget current pound for pound. That's all-time great stuff right there. But he lost the fight. You guys watch it. Tell me. For those of you who watched it, just comment below. Listen, both guys landed. I mean, it's not a thing where Rungvisai didn't land either. But I'm not sure how clear of a victory that I don't know. You tell me. I'll do a Golovkin Jacobs thing maybe tomorrow night. At worst, Thursday. If it's not Wednesday night, it'll be Thursday. For sure. Sorry for the delay. Like I said, I had some things I had to work through. And right now I'm going to end this and watch the replays of, not the fights, but today's telecast of The Young and the Restless, followed by The Bold and the Beautiful. Don't judge me, guys. Don't judge me.